Hello, beautiful people. Hi. Oh man, this energy is so powerful. That's right, Crow. Crow confirmation, earbud confirmation. It really feels, as I've been diving into my own healing journey and my own spiritual awakening, my own life, my experiences, I use a lot of those to help me understand or define or feel out the channeled messages. So for the past 24 hours, I've been writing notes on this message that's been coming through, similar theme to what we've been going through about, things resurfacing, old patterns resurfacing, healing through those, looking at them with love, not shame. But something came through yesterday, late last night rather, that was like, I smile because it's like, wow, it's so powerful. You guys, this collective is so powerful. Let me just go into it. I don't even know if any of this is going to make sense. I really don't. I'm just going to share what comes through, and I did write some notes, but sorry, I'm like at a loss for words. That doesn't usually happen. It's so profound. Is there a better word than that? It's just fucking magical, okay? Like, it literally is so powerful and magical. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't. The world, the earth, this collective, humanity is shifting. Earbud confirmation. Wow. We're shifting, and it feels like there's two polarities here, as life usually has, to balance things out. Duality, polarity here. It's like there's a masculine, feminine, there's yin and yang, there's light and dark. And it feels like one half of the world, one half of this collective is evolving and awakening internally, like this yin, divine feminine energy. Now, you don't have to be a female. Divine feminine energy is within all of us, but it feels yin is the divine feminine, yang is the divine masculine. And in yin energy, it's very intuitive, it's very inward, it's very experiential. It's like, if that's even the right terminology for this, it's like you learn and live and dive into information through your experiences. So that's why I shared that at the beginning. It's like what I feel. I don't even know if I feel like, wow, deja vu. You guys, so much is happening right now. It feels like I've already been here sharing this message with you guys. It feels like I've already said exactly this. It feels like I'm repeating it. So I'm having to like replay in my mind right now. Like, have I already done this? Have I already said that? Did I actually already say that to you guys? That's so strange. Yeah, so this yin energy feels, as it's awakening, it feels like everybody is awakening here to some level, whether it's more spiritual, more physical, more internal. The yang energy is more outward, more physical, whereas the yin energy is more internal, intuitive, your experiences, the things inside. So these downloads, these consciousness, this subconscious, bringing it up to the conscious, this deep awareness of the emotions that you're feeling right now, that this collective is experiencing and feeling, the heaviness, the doubt, the fear, the shame from your past or the past experiences, past things you've done, that's bubbling up right now. And that feels very much a part of this yin collective. And that's not saying or negating that this yang collective, the collective that's awakening outwardly, physically, rather than inwardly, it's not saying that they're not also going through emotional turmoil or, shadows coming up, past experiences, but it feels very much like this yin collective. It feels like you guys are awakening within self, like you are. Let me go back to my notes because there's so much. It just feels so heavy, but it's so profound. And I had to share this with you guys. Like, My notes don't even do it justice, though. That's the thing. It's like this, the hugeness, the vastness of this shift that you guys are in, the importance of the emotions coming up, looking at the shame. It feels heavily with shame and embarrassment, with guilt. This collective is having past experiences, past things you've done, resurfacing. And whether it's being triggered or not, it's by somebody or something, it's like it's coming up, and it almost feels like a why now? Like it feels like this energy of why would that be happening now? And you're being given, as I've said in these other messages, I think I've said this again, this whole timeline and things, like I don't know what's happening. It's so, I don't even know if, am I even gonna post this video? I don't even know. You guys, I have never been this lost for words and awestruck before, but it felt so vital that I came out and shared this with you guys. So give me a second, let me review some of my notes, because it's a lot. You guys are going through so much right now, but it's so important and it's so pivotal and it's so exciting. Those words don't do it justice. Oh man, they don't. So understanding what's happening right now energetically, yeah, this phase that you're in feels deeply emotional because you're in this yin awakening, this inward intuitive evolution of yourself. You're starting to surface, or the old is starting to surface and be processed by you energetically. It was stored in the body and the subconscious, and now as you are shifting to this new place, this new realm, this new timeline, this new consciousness, this new awareness, those last things coming up of your past, the things of shame that you did not have the emotional or intellectual capacity to look at and heal truly to its full extent at the times that those things were done or committed. So if you did something that's popping up that you felt shame about, at that time that you committed that thing, you did that thing, that action, that whatever you did, or inaction, the thing you're shameful of, at that time in your life, you did not have the emotional awareness, the energetic capacity and space, or the healed version of yourself that you are now at that time to truly look at those things and to work through them. So that was bottled, whether you subconsciously or consciously did it. That the shame, the fear, the guilt of whatever you had or did either wasn't present at that time because you weren't emotionally aware enough at that time. You didn't know what you were committing, what you were doing, what your action or inaction. You weren't fully aware and cognitive as you are now to have recognized the healing that needed to take place, or the awareness of that action or inaction that needed to happen. Does that make sense? We're going so deep here, but like I really feel, I don't even know. I honestly don't even know if I'm going to post this video, but I guess we'll find out. I think I'm going to. I feel called to. The fact that I feel like hesitant to do that feels like this message has to get out then. So Spirit, I'm just asking that you ground and calm me. Because I want to get this out. Oh, I have chills through my body. I want to get this out for the collective. I want to share this because this was so profound for me. And this, like, I feel like I'm going to cry. This was so profound. Goosebumps everywhere. You guys. What's surfacing now, you didn't have the emotional, intellectual capacity to handle at that time. And now you do. The place you're at now, this evolved version of yourself now, this healing and healed version of yourself in those areas, you're able to now. That is why it's coming up now. That's why it's being accessed right now. That's why it's coming up to the surface right now. For you to look at with curiosity and with love and not with shame. But, what was so pivotal and important for me to hear and to this bypassing energy of saying, oh, okay, well, with no shame and blame. And not that I'm trying to spiritually bypass anything as I share these messages with you, because ultimately the goal is to not look at yourself or your past versions of yourself with shame or blame, or anybody with that, right? But there is an essence and energy of feeling the fucking feelings that you feel fully, and then transmute them into this deeper understanding of love and growth and acceptance, radical acceptance of yourself, of your past, being able to look back at your past with love, being able to ask yourself, wow, so much releasing here. Like, that's what oh my gosh, you guys, you're doing so much releasing, but you're doing the work. And this is why I felt called to come out and share why this is happening and what is happening on a grand scale collectively. Holy fluff, you guys. This is so, oh my gosh. I don't even know how to, okay, I'm just gonna stay comfortable. Yeah. Okay, so the heavy emotions coming back up, shame, guilt, regret, old versions of yourself resurfacing, patterns and memories looping for you to review them, to sit with them, but to feel them, not to bypass them and be like, okay, I'll look at that with love. Not that we can actually do that, really, truly, because when the emotions come up and you're as in tuned as you are, you're in this collective, you're watching this video, it's not even really possible to sit there and be mad and be like, oh, I'll just look at it with love. It's like, no, you fucking feel mad, right? Sorry for the cussing. But like, that's what this energy, it's like, fucking feel it. Feel it. If you feel angry, you feel shame, you feel embarrassment, whatever you feel anger, you feel resentment, fucking feel it. Feel it. Sit with it. And there's a difference between sitting with it and then letting it ruminate and spiral out of control, and then you live in that essence and that energy. That's not what you're being asked to do. Not that I feel like this collective would do that. It's sitting with the shame, sitting with the guilt, sitting with these emotions coming up to the surface, because you are transmuting them into something so powerful. You are tapping into this quantum energy, this quantum field of consciousness, of awareness, of insight, of knowledge. Collectively, we are all tapping into this. And as we are uncovering new information, new downloads, new insights, new understandings, new knowledge, it's in this collective quantum field that we're tapping into. So as these surface up for you and you heal through them, as you look at yourself with love, yes, sit with the fucking feelings that feel yucky, but look at that. Once you've sat with them, recognize what came from those emotions, what came from that experience, what did you learn, where are you now, and how is it so different than where you were there, right, at that time. And recognize that, celebrate that transition that you've come from, that you're at currently right now. Celebrate where you are, because now you have the capacity to sit with these emotions. Now you have the emotional and mental and heart space capacity that wasn't freed before, that wasn't open, that wasn't cleared before, like it is now. You have that now to sit with these yucky, stucky emotions. And I know it almost, on surface level, it doesn't seem fair. What do you mean? I've healed, I've worked through this. What do you mean now I have to sit with the crap that I left years ago, right? But it's not that you're being punished. You're not. Oh my gosh. It's not regression, it's reclamation. Like, you're I'm getting so passionate and excited, but like, holy, you guys, it feels so big. This shift is so huge. We're literally watching the world and the collective elevate and shift. And yes, there are those and some that are not in that place, that are not elevating and shifting, but there is some sort of awakening within them, even if it's external from their body. All right. So let me go back to this. Let me go back to this yin and yang, because I keep feeling called to go back to this yin and yang energy. This yang energy is like people awakening, spiritually or not. They're coming to some sort of deeper understanding. They're awakening from some sort of consciousness that they had before. They're awakening, but it's externally. They're searching for it outside of themselves. And as things advance, like technology, AI, our phones, I mean, hell, even electricity, like just the availability of it all, like the everything that's changing physically outside of your body, outside of us. There's half of this world, half of this collective is reaching for and searching for those things. And there's nothing wrong. Let me just say, there's nothing wrong with technology advancements, with AI, with new things outside of yourself that can help you learn, or that can offer more knowledge or insight to it. But here's the thing. The Yin collective is recognizing that we already have access to that internally through the quantum realms. And that's where I'm saying that might get a little woo-woo, but like, that's quantum. Let me just speak it because it needs to be said. Something's trying to block it, but it's not going to happen. Oh man. Okay, why am I getting all nervous now? This collective is realizing that the information that others are searching outside of themselves or to other people, or searching ChatGPT, AI services, there's nothing wrong with any of that. Do that. That's great. That helps you expand and learn. That's awesome that we have that technology. But you are realizing that you have access to that within, internally. This quantum realm, this energy, this knowledge, this vast knowledge is available to you, within you, through you, and you are awakening internally in this yin energy, this creative, divine, feminine energy. It's a deep knowing. You know how people just say like, somehow women just know. Women just know. And it's not about women. Okay. You don't have to be a woman, but it's like, I keep hearing that, like somebody in the background is just blah, 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 like trying to say shit, like they're saying, oh, it's just women, but it's not. It's this grand scale of collective that is tapping in to a healthy balance of masculine and feminine, this yin and yang, being able to know that there are outside areas and access to knowledge and information, and we can use those things. And as our world and as our technology grows, we get access to that. That's so fluff and cool. But you're recognizing that you also have that internally within yourself, your own little computer, but on a vast quantum universal scale. And the people that are more in this yang energy, that aren't as balanced, or are at least awakening, let me not say they're not as balanced, but they're not awakening inwardly, they're awakening outwardly, are still searching outside of themselves for information and answers. And again, nothing wrong with that. I feel like I need to say that there is nothing wrong with either side, but it's realizing that there's information outside of you, and you can call that within you. That is within you. Oh my God, dude, this goes so much deeper, and my notes don't, like I said, my notes don't even do it justice. And I have been barely looking at my notes over here. It just feels like a free flow type thing, but I also don't want to get too lost in this. The information that's coming up for you right now is meant to be looked at with love and with curiosity, and not with shame and blame. But allow yourself to feel the shame and blame if you feel that when it comes up. Allow yourself to sit with that and with curiosity. Why do I feel shame around that? What was my thought process, or what was I told to believe that I had to feel less than, or feel not worthy of, or feel like I'm not enough, that I have to sit in this shame for the rest of my life, or that I have to turn a blind eye and bottle it up so I don't feel it. Instead, you're recognizing, you're coming to this understanding that when you sit with these emotions, and you tap into self, it's the source core within you, the universal source core, God, source, universe. Like when you tap into that, you have the answers, and it's intuitively within you. And everybody has access to this. Guy, girl, otherwise, yin yang energy, doesn't matter, polarities, whatever. We all have access to this. It's, are you strengthening it? Are you recognizing and realizing that? Are you bringing the subconscious knowing to your conscious? Or are you still searching outside of yourself for it? Yeah, this subconscious, like this yin energy, is opening and revealing the stored data from years of your own experience, years of the collective experience. There's this like energy pot. And as this collective heals, we've been talking about this for a while. As this collective heals, you individually heal. You all are individually healing. And we're all collectively in this big energy pot, raising this to a boil. It's coming up. Like, we're doing it. You're doing it. All together, we're doing it. By you simply focusing more on yourself and not in this people pleasing or reaching out for other people or telling other people that they have to, you know, love you a certain way or treat you a certain way. It's like now you're just treating yourself that way. Now you're looking at yourself with that love. Now you're diving into yourself for that information. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that from the outside, but if that's the only thing you're doing, you're putting all of your energy into wanting and craving and chasing versus radical acceptance and checking in with yourself and just following what feels right for you. You can have both, but when you're just chasing one, you lose this. You lose you. And you were lost. And I say that because, like, I was lost. I was this, like, at some point in your life in the past 5 to 10 years, if not just recently for some of you guys, you felt lost. You felt not like yourself. You felt not like you. Or wherever you felt like you needed to be, you felt like you weren't there. And you're coming home to self. You're recognizing the information, the power, the beauty, the capability you have within you, as well as accessing information and love and resources and other things outside too. But you're starting with you. And that's what the shift is. That's the difference here, is you're starting with you. You're not just remembering what you did or who you were. You're integrating and reintegrating those fragments with love and awareness. So you're asking yourself right now, like, this collective is really mastering themselves. They're really mastering this identity that you're stepping into. You're really mastering life. You really are. Like, you're mastering life. And it's not saying that everything's great and it works out for you perfectly. It's exactly how you want it, right? It's like you're mastering the understanding, the ebbs and flows of life, the ins and outs, the polarities, the balance, the yin and yang, the different energies of confirmation that you need to be in, the balanced place that you need to be in. And that's mastering life. You're asking yourself, can I look at my past without hating myself for it? Can I witness my shadows with curiosity instead of shame? But acknowledge that the shame is there, or was there, if you've moved through it. It feels like this collective has done a huge shift in the past 24 hours. That's why I feel like when I'm alongside of you guys here in this journey, it feels like when something's happening with me, that it's happening on a collective grand scale within a similar time frame. And our idea of time, right? You know, because time's not linear, but like our human perspective of time. And sometimes it's not always like that, but at least in these channels for this collective at this point in my life, at this point in this channel, it feels like as I'm experiencing these things, I'm sharing them with you guys, and it's resonating on a vast level, which is just confirming more and more to me that this collective, that we are all one. It's more and more confirmation that what I'm experiencing, you're experiencing. What you're experiencing, I'm experiencing. And they might be fragments of each other and mirrors that are slightly, like, not exactly the same, but we're experiencing similarities through duality, through polarity. Does that make sense? Like, we're the same, but we have different experiences, so we can all learn from each other. And as this collective is learning yourself and you're figuring things out within yourself, you're starting to identify and uncover energies and recognize how to tap into that, into source energy, to your higher self, to connect and communicate with that. We are all collectively rising together, and we are all collectively being able to help each other with this new information, with these new downloads. And as I get one piece of information, you may have gotten something else the night before, but guess what? We both got this profound amount of information last night, right? And this is this concept, and you share yours on your platform and I share mine on my platform, and we both see each other's platforms and we both learn from each other. And we're in this collective rising together. And now you just gained more insight and I just gained more insight from each other. Profound. As it should be. We should be growing collectively and learning and resourcing from each other, but starting within. That's how it should be. And that's what we're headed to. And it doesn't even have to be, I see a platform here because I'm on a platform. I'm on a YouTube platform right now. But I'm just saying, it could be like your neighbor. you have a good relationship with your neighbor and you learn something, you figure something out, some sort of aha moment comes to you, clarity comes to you, or even if it's not clarity and it's like a struggle and you're going through a struggle and now your neighbor is going through a struggle and you guys both talk about your struggles and they're slightly different struggles, but you're both struggling, right? So you both talk about it, you both release it verbally, you release it out there, you write it on your journal, you speak it out to your neighbors, whatever it is, whatever way you're getting it out, you're clearing this, you're opening your heart chakra, you're clearing the throat chakra, you're aligning yourself with what needs to be spoken out, what needs to be released. And we're all doing it. And it might look slightly different, but it's all fucking happening at the same time. And how profound is it that we're all going through this together while we while we on the other side sometimes feel alone in this process. But we're not alone. You're working on yourself, doing something that's so different and so profound and just different. It is. It's just different than where you were at. It's different where you are mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything. And it's all shifting for you, but you're in this like place of profound, deep uncovering of your subconscious, tapping into this quantum energy, tapping into your higher self in communication with God, Source, Universe, your higher self, tapping into that and recognizing it's within you. And how cool is it that we also have that and we can look into and learn from others outside of us. But how fucking cool is it that you can learn from yourself and you can like tap into that from yourself? Crazy, right? Not crazy. So cool. And what you're doing is emotional alchemy. You are transmuting your pain into wisdom through your presence. Through you being present in these moments and this awareness you have. Like I was saying earlier, this stuff is bubbling up, this uncomfortable, yucky, stucky stuff that we didn't deal with before. Not any shame that we didn't. You just weren't able to. You weren't capable or in the place at that time to fully look at what it is that you need to be looking at, the shame or the guilt or the embarrassment or whatever the feelings are. You weren't capable of doing it at that time. You weren't in that place. You weren't as evolved as you are now. And now you are able to. And what a fucking blessing that you're there now. Look at where you're at now. If you look back at those things, that same time frame, that whatever's popping up for you that's making you feel that way, look at that place. Were you in a place of this much awareness? No, you fluffing weren't. Let me just say you weren't. That's why you couldn't handle it at that time. That's why it seems like why is it happening now? Because you're fucking ready right now. Because you're aware right now. Because you are in such a deep state of conscious awareness right now that you're able to. What a gift. What a gift. Literally, what a gift that you are in the place now to be able to handle this stuff. Yeah. So this energy mirrors the yin and yang duality. And this inward awakening, this yin collective is feeling more intensely right now. It's feeling deep emotions, heart activations, intuitive revelations, whereas the yang collective, this other half that I was feeling into, is processing similar things, but externally through their relationships, through things ending for them, physical changes, career shifts. Now, again, that doesn't, just because one energy or one collective like yang energy and yin energy, just because one is inward and one is outward, doesn't mean that they don't overlap to some level, right? Like just because the yang energy is experiencing the endings of things, of external stuff, doesn't mean they're not also internally looking inward, right? And just because the yin energy collective is looking inward and feeling these really heavy emotions inside and diving into self, doesn't mean that they're not also experiencing endings of things, right? It's just the heaviness of it. If we're going to look at the more heavy side of it, yang is dealing with outward expression, outward endings, whereas the yin energy collective is dealing with this internal endings and shiftings and deaths within themselves, right? But you might also be experiencing career loss or ending relationships or have walked away from those things. It's just heavier within self versus the yang energy, which is heavier outside of self. But both yin and yang are transmuting density. The yin is doing it through feeling and reflection, while yang is doing it through action and external realignment. But we're all shifting and awakening to some level. yeah, let me take a little break, some kombucha break. You guys, this is profound. And I'm sure some of you guys have already been like, I feel this. Because some of you guys come into the comments or the DMs or the emails and be like, you know, this, which is so cool. I love, because what I say, hang on. Kombucha, hang on. What did I say though about this collective? I love this because as we're diving into self, people can offer other insight outside of you, right? And you can choose to listen to it or not, or take it or not, or do whatever you want to with that information. But it's so cool that collectively we can all come to our own understandings, have our own experiences, and share them with one another and help each other grow and learn and just understand on so many different vast levels, rather than having to isolate and be by yourself all the time, trying to figure it out on your own. It's so cool that this collective is starting internally and knowing and having access to things externally. So when people come and talk to me and they're like, oh, hey, did you know about this? Or did you share this? Or, hey, like, I actually think you meant it this way, or whatever insight, opinions that somebody wants to offer. I read all of it. Doesn't mean I always respond, but I read all of them. And I think it's so fluffing cool that this collective is here to just help. We all just want to share information and help each other grow collectively. It feels like this collective is really on this deep understanding of starting with self so we can all collectively rise. It doesn't feel like a hierarchy. It doesn't feel like, you know, one's pushing the other one down, or we all want each other's success. We all want each other's happiness. That's how we create this whole, cringy to say, but that's what it is. Why is it cringy? I don't know, because our world has told us it is. But world peace, like legit world peace. World peace happens when everybody supports each other and we're all happy for each other, and we all show each other information and insights, and we want each other's success, and we want each other's health, and we want each other's happiness. That's how that happens. And it's not cringy. I just had to say that because I'm working through my own downloads and my own things that I was told to believe, or that I made myself believe, or that I thought was true, or whatever. And we're all doing that. We're all collectively doing that. And you're working through your own little things. Yours may not be the same as mine, but we're all looking through some deep shit right now and being like, wow, that's insane. So instead of sitting here and saying, wow, I was insane and how crazy was I to believe that, you're looking at it and saying, wow, how did that even come into existence? Like that belief system, how did those patterns that I had, how did those even manifest themselves into my reality? Why do I believe those? And you're looking at them with curiosity. And that's what's helping transmute this pain, this shame, this guilt, these heavy feelings that this collective is feeling right now. You're learning that when you take shame and guilt and grief, and as they come up, you're not looking at it as a punishment. You're looking to help just restabilize your vibration, your higher frequency. You're simply just laying down foundation, that you're resurfacing and laying down this new foundation, and looking at each individual piece of this foundation and being very mindful about how you're doing it. I hope you guys are following. I mean, if you're not, this is meant for the people. Like, this video will find who it needs to find, and if it makes sense to you, then that's why you're here. So, like, I know it's a little all over the place, but damn, this is so powerful and so profound, and I don't even know if I've even touched on the level of profoundness this is. But this collective is really just releasing survival energy, detaching from needing external validation, learning to trust their inner technology, your inner intuition, your telepathy, your emotional intelligence. It really feels like you guys are very, very in tune. We've been talking about this though, but I don't think that's shifting. I don't think that's going to change. It's something that you can't go back. You're not going to be able to go back. This collective isn't going to go back to not being intuitive. They're not going to go back to a lack of self-awareness. They're not going to go back to just not feeling as in tune with yourself as you are now. You can't undo that. Like, this is now a new opened quantum access door that you've walked through. It's now open. It's there, and we all have access to it. And yes, we have our off days, we have down days, we have things that we have doubts and fears that pop up, but like, you've now stepped through this new threshold that you cannot undo. And that's not to like scare you. That's literally empowering to say, this collective has walked through so much and has shifted and transmuted so much, and you've removed the need for external validation. You've removed any type of like lack energy, survival energy mindset. You've been working through it and you've been removing it. And that is so powerful. And that is quite literally what is going to be the biggest change in your life right now. And has been. So when alchemy is happening here, you're being called to pause and to feel, not to bypass or to force positivity. There's nothing wrong with being positive. As I said, like, toxic positivity can be taken a certain way, but I really think that like being positive through anything and everything is great. I think that's a gift within itself, to be able to find positivity, find lessons and things learned, and just any type of light at the end of the tunnel in every situation. There's nothing wrong with that. But thinking that that light at the end of the tunnel is going to be your savior is the toxic part. Look for the positivity, look for the light, but don't hold on to it as if it's going to be your savior. Look at it as hope. Look at it as moving forward, as just another reason to continue forward. And that's this positivity that I'm saying tap into. But what some of the spiritual community and other people say is like spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity, where it's, oh, everything's great. God's going to protect me. I got this. Nothing's going to go bad. That's what I think they're talking about. And I mean, I don't know too many people that actually think and say that way. Maybe you guys do. Maybe there's somebody out there that does that. But but it needs to be said that being positive and finding light and positivity in every situation is not toxic and not bad. And it's not bypassing. If you're actually looking at the emotions and the things coming up to the surface as they are, you look as they come up, you can say, I'm feeling shame right now, but wow, look how far I've made it. Looking at the positive, look at how much I've grown from that moment. But yeah, I still feel shame in this. Why do I feel shame in this? And it's all encompassing. It's being happy and proud and celebratory of yourself and the things you've accomplished, and that positivity, that light. But also looking at the shadows, looking at the yuck and stuck, looking at the things that don't feel good, and having both exist at the same time simultaneously. And that's what I've been speaking upon in my channel message, but that's what you guys are being asked to do. It's not just smile and skip your way to freedom. Yay. But it is like, if skipping makes you feel good and you're having a down day, go fucking skip in the sun. Go do it. Go find a field of flowers and go roll in them. Like, if that makes you feel good, do it, because that's healing. There's a balance of being joyous and positive and fun loving and just getting out of your own way sometimes, removing yourself from a stuck environment and just doing something fun. But that's not spiritual bypassing. That's not negating the feelings that you recognized you felt stuck with something or something was coming up. So you transmuted that. You took that yucky energy and you turned it into something that works for you, so you can be joyous and positive and keep moving forward. That's what the fuck you guys are doing. That's what you guys are doing right now. And how powerful and profound. And no, it's not toxic. And no, it's not bypassing. You guys are sitting with the feelings that feel so heavy right now. It feels so heavy and sometimes overwhelming. But you're looking at it with so much understanding and looking at yourself like, wow, that was a past version of me. And I did those things. And I even know why I did those things now, because you're in such a place of intuition, of deep knowledge, of knowing, of self-awareness, emotional intelligence. Now you're able to look back and say, I know why I acted that way. I know why I did those things. I know why I had those behaviors or patterns or addictions. And now you can look at yourself with celebration and still recognize that that shame came up, that that guilt came up, that that questioning of why you made those decisions came up. And you're transmuting it into something that is so powerful, that's shifting and pushing you forward. And this collective is doing it all together. Holy fuck. And it feels like in the moment, let me just say, at least personally, it feels like in the moment that it's forever. It takes forever. It's so long. It's like, oh my gosh, when is this going to end? Like, oh my gosh, like this pain, this shame, this stuck feeling of, ugh. But then you step out, it's like you become this observer and you look at your life and you're like I'm doing amazing so fast to like this collective is transmuting and is shifting so fast, is healing on so fast. I was going to say on an ungodly scale, but like on your own scale, but like this collective is so powerful. This energy that you've tapped into is so powerful. it feels like every couple days to every week, you're a new person. And I don't even know how that's possible. In my human brain, it's like, how? What do you mean? What do you mean? But you are quite literally shifting and changing and being a completely different person every couple days, every couple weeks. Like, your mentality shifts, perspective changes, energy changing, shifting, awareness, subconscious being healed through the conscious as it bubbles up and you look at it. Holy fluff, you guys. There's the fluff instead of the fuck. There it is. The fun, bubbly cuteness coming back out again. Yeah. You guys, I had to say this. How long? We've been doing 40 minutes already. Wow. Well, thank you guys for still being here. And if this message resonates with you, I'd love to know how it's resonating with you guys, and what if you've been feeling these big heavy emotions too. I feel like if you're watching this video and you've made it here, you've been feeling the big heavy emotions come up, the thoughts, the past things, the triggers. But you've been doing your inner alchemy. You've been energetically looking at these things and releasing them, and not even just releasing. It really feels like you're taking it and saying, instead of just releasing it, what can I do with this? What can I do with this energy to propel me forward? How can I get out of this stagnant energy and use this stuck yuck energy that's coming up? How can I use that to my benefit? And you're doing that. And you're doing that. Burp confirmation. Oh man. I think that was my notes. Yeah. We are anchoring a new level of conscious balance on earth, and you're starting with yourself, and you're doing it through your experience, through your intuition, what feels right. And then somehow you're sharing it, whether you have a platform like YouTube, like I do right now, or whether you are sharing it with your neighbor or a friend or family member. You're sharing, someone is sharing. Some of you guys are. It feels like some of you guys are still wanting to share your insight. Like, you haven't been burned or blocked off yet. You haven't allowed yourself, your heart, to block off completely, where you are complete hermit mode. It does feel like this collective is in hermit mode, though. Back in hermit mode. It's like, whoa, retract, introspection time. But it feels like this collective is still wanting to open up and share their insight, their feelings, their growth with someone or multiple people. And as you're doing that, you're healing yourself, but you're planting a seed within that other person. And if that other person is of similar or same emotional awareness and intuitive intellect as you, then you're not just planting a seed, you are helping their garden grow as well. So you guys are doing such amazing work that is literally shifting the earth. That is, I mean, in 50 to 100 years from now, we're gonna be so different. Like, I don't even know how to go into that. That's a whole other quantum leap that we could go into and talk about that one a little bit. But it does feel like you guys are the pioneers, the beginning of this new shift, this healing and feeling and transmuting energy. And I don't know if you guys know you're doing it, because I mean, I could feel like something powerful, something cool was happening within me. Let me just be honest here. But like, I wasn't quite sure. I was just kind of intuitively following. Like, I felt called to share something. I felt called to start a YouTube video, or channel rather. I felt called to just speak on things that were coming up in my dreams, or my thoughts, or my experiences, or things I was hearing from other people that were sharing things with me that seemed like it was on some sort of collective scale. Like, clients and friends of mine that would come talk to me, and they were all experiencing the same thing, and it was like, whoa, this is insane. And so I just felt very called to share my insight, my experience with you guys here. And so maybe you guys were in the same area, whether you see yourself as some sort of like leader or advisor, helper, teacher, healer to some sort. It doesn't matter if you have a title on it or not. It feels like you guys were just following what felt right, whether you consciously were aware of what you were doing or not. And it feels like there's this conscious awakening now, at least for me. Like, I don't know if that's weird to say, because like, I feel like I've had all of these awakenings and I felt like I've been very conscious, but something shifted where it was like, whoa, if I'm experiencing this and other people in this collective have been experiencing similar things alongside of me, we're all mirrors of each other, reflecting things back at each other in different ways. It's like, who else is experiencing, who else is awakening to this level, this consciousness, this deeper knowing of what you're doing in your life, in your body, in your vessel. I mean, it is so profound. I have to find a better word than that. It is flabbergasting. More than that, I don't even know. It is quantum. It is bigger than us, but we are it, and it is us. So it's not bigger than us, but it's like bigger than our human brains have ever contemplated or conceptualized. And it's like you're stepping into that. You're stepping into this deeper quantum energy field of knowing, of existence, of being. You are in this new becoming place, and we are all becoming this higher vibrational, higher frequency, deeper understanding and intuitive beings that we are accessing and opening here and sharing our light and our love and our experience with everybody. Like, your experience is what matters right now too. You're following your intuition, but it's coming from your experiences. It's coming from what you've learned, the wisdom you've gained, the insight that you've gained. And you're sharing your experiences. You're being so authentic and raw and just showing up, and whether you're even just showing up for yourself in your journal or whatever, it's like you're showing up and you're looking at yourself and you're looking at your experiences and what's coming up, and you're transmuting it and changing it and sharing it with others, which is showing them that it's possible for them to do that too for themselves. And as we all do it together, as I keep saying this over and over, we become collectively stronger. We shift the vibration, and that is what is happening. And I've been saying that without the conscious understanding as I feel like I have now. But I've been saying that. So that's what I mean. Is like, you guys, your intuition is so strong because you're just doing things that you may not understand why you're doing it, or have any real rationale behind why it's happening or what you did. But there is this shift that is taking place, whether it has just happened for you or it's about to happen, where there's going to be this profound, and hell, maybe I just heard just now, this video might be your profound shift. You might be watching this video and that might be your awakening. This right here might be like you recognizing, holy shit, like how profound this is and how powerful you are, and the energy that you've tapped into, and this being of amazingness that you are and that you're becoming and stepping into. I feel like we've felt this energy but not had an understanding behind it, and it feels like this clarity, this understanding is this. It's this, at least for me. Let me just say, at least for me. But oh man. All right, so I did write down a little affirmation that I was saying. I said last night and this morning to myself too, and sometimes I go into affirmations. I feel like a lot of people resonate with affirmations, and if it helps somebody, then I wrote it down and I'm going to share it with you guys. And if you feel like you want to share it and say it out loud to yourself, that's awesome. If it's not for you, that's not for you, you know? So whatever, you know, sits and sinks with you, take it. And if you're trying to force it to fit or trying to force it to make sense, then just leave it, and leave it for the people it does make sense for, you know? Like, you don't need to make this message fit or understand or be understood right now. But the affirmation that I wrote down for myself and that I'm going to share with you guys is I'm safe to feel what I feel. My emotions are my teachers, they're not my punishments. I release shame and step into self-compassion. My light expands as I honor every part of who I have been. I'm going to say that again. Okay, I know it's a long one. I'm safe to feel what I feel. My emotions are my teachers. They're not my punishments. I release shame and step into self-compassion. My light expands as I honor every part of who I've been. So as these things come up, these past things from your life come up, these emotions, these feelings, these memories, these thoughts come up, recognize that it is a part of who you were and what you went through, and your light is now expanding, and you're learning to honor that and step into self-compassion, recognizing that these emotions coming up are your teachers. They're teaching you a feeling or an experience that you were not energetically, physically, emotionally, spiritually ready to handle or deal with or be able to even understand or witness at that time. And now you are. And that is a gift within itself. And it's your teacher, and it's teaching you what you are understanding, the depth of what you are tapping into right now, and how you have the capability to take this and turn it into something that works for you. Yeah. So this is how humanity's next evolution is beginning, through self-awareness, emotional honesty, and unity between the inner and the outer worlds. Yeah. That's it. Okay, well, thank you guys for being here with me. That was quite powerful and amazing, and I was gonna say, I hope it makes sense, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, it's gonna click with the people that it needs to click with. This video will find it. I was gonna say it might feel for like a niche collective, but it feels like it's very much this grand scale of humanity is the collective. One half of humanity is in this yang inner expression, intuitive energy, and one half is in this outward expression of physical and looking outwards outside of themselves. But we're all expanding. We're all doing it in slightly different ways, but we're all doing it. So it's not really a niche collective. It's just whether or not this shift is happening at this exact time for you and you're aware of it right now, or if it's about to happen for you and then you will become aware of it. And this is just your gateway entry reminder that is about to happen. This video right here. I don't know. But with that, I love you guys. I'm going to let this video be done here. We're at 50 minutes exactly. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day or night or whatever time it is. And I'll see you later. Bye.